A state rep in Michigan, Matt Maddock, sparked a lot of controversy on social media with his remarks, "Free the 16 Electors Poolside Party" at his home. In an audio recording obtained by the Messenger, Maddock warned supporters that a civil war could erupt or that people would get shot if the government continued targeting conservatives. Listen.
Love you all, and thank you for being here tonight and supporting us. It's been difficult for Meshawn and I, and I talked to Wes, and I said, Wes, if the government continues to weaponize these departments against conservatives and the citizens that are the taxpayers, what's going to happen to this country? Does anyone have any idea if this doesn't stop?
We're going to take your building away from you and tear it down without your permission.
No, what's going to happen? No, what's going to happen before that? Yeah, the goal is communism, right? Or Marxism. The Democrats' dream, right? But what's going to happen before that? Someone's going to get so pissed off they're going to shoot someone. That's what's going to happen. Or we're going to have a civil war or some sort of revolution. That's where this is going. And when that happens, we're going to get squashed. The people here are going to be the first ones.
Okay. Come on in. Come on in. If you're ready for your close-up, Meshawn, you're being honored for being an elector. So give her a round of applause. Meshawn rules. All right. Thank you, Meshawn.
Other electors here, but I didn't want to out them. They're just among the crowd, and I didn't know if they wanted to say anything. But it's really better for none of us to say anything. Which is hard, because I like to say shit.
They're dismantling the Trump campaign, one person at a time. Meshawn's the person in Michigan. She's a target. Number two, they're going to cheat again. You guys know that, right? Yeah. They're never going to stop cheating. And who agrees with me that they did cheat their ass off? Yeah. Okay? And what they're doing here, the things that the electors did were things that have been done before. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And they're trying to take away our right to appeal an election or to question election. Okay? They want to make damn sure that anyone who questions the election or disputes the election in 2024 is threatened by what they're doing to our electors and other people throughout this nation, that you will not say anything. You are going to shut the F up, and you are going to walk into that gas chamber. That's what they want. Okay, because that's what's coming.
First, though. And so what we're going to do, speaking of dividing and conquering, my goal is to get a resolution up to impeach Dana Nessel. She has obviously committed corruption with this corrupt prosecution. The law is there. Now we need to get the Republicans on paper to sign the resolution to impeach Dana Nessel. We're 56-54, guys, but we have two state reps running for mayor. Westland and...
Against her?
Yes.
Not against me. Not against me.
Oh, okay.
Westland and Warren, Weiss and Coleman.
Oh.
And both of them have a good chance. I don't want to handicap it for him.
Coleman wants my vote. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So we want you to vote for him. And anyway, so if both of those go, for 6 months, we're 54-54. And we have recalls that are going on in our state. If a few of these Democrats are recalled, it's even less than that. So don't lose heart. Don't think that all is lost. We're very close in the House of Representatives. We do have some work to do with trying to buck up some Republicans and trying to inject backbones up into them. But Matt and I will work on that if you just keep supporting us and keep praying for us and keep spreading the word and don't buy into the narrative.
So why is Matt Maddock so upset? Well, it's because the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, actually charged Maddox's wife, the former co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party, with falsely claiming they were duly elected electors for Donald Trump. That's why they're upset, y'all. And so understand the thing here, Lauren, that people have to understand. These people have always threatened violence. They've always tried to attack people. That's what January 6th was about. They were saying it before that. They're angry and all this. Oh no, these people are wrong, and we should. They're taking away our rights. No, y'all are just mad because y'all actually broke the law, and that's the deal. They don't believe in being held accountable again because their dear leader has never been held accountable. All of these people are taking their marching orders from him And I'm going to tell you who I'm also going to blame here, Lauren. I'm going to blame the Mitch McConnells of the world who were gutless and afraid to impeach him, because had they had the guts to do it, they would have sent a signal to the rest of these yahoos that he is evil and has no place in our political society.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell had an opportunity to impeach him. Not only that, had they passed that impeachment vote, had he gone into his caucus and told them to vote for impeachment at that crucial moment, he would have been ineligible to run for president again. So the question of that would have been decided in that moment. I mean, everybody knows that the entire Trump MAGA movement is built on identity politics and anger, and with an underlaying of if you don't do it our way, we're going to be violent. I mean, you know, they are basically, the other part of this, though, is what Greg brought up, this virtual clavern concept, which is, of course, extremely accurate. Until we get these social media companies regulated and Section 230 dealt with, this is going to go on again and again and again, because as it stands now, these social media companies are not legally responsible for anything on their platforms that causes a problem, or in the case of, you know, January 6th, violence at the United States Capitol. And they're just not responsible for anything on the platform. And whether it's lying, whether it's disinformation, misinformation, defamation, they're responsible for absolutely nothing. And at this point in the game, we're now far down the line. We know what the connection is. We know why things are different. There are only two things that are different between this moment and, say, 20 years ago. One, we had a black president of the United States get elected in 2008. And the second thing is social media. So it allows these people to get this misinfo and disinfo out. And as you could hear on that audio by Dan Merica, you know, that audio is showing the people in the background believing that the election was stolen. Where did they get that from? Well, they got that from Trump lying over and over again, social media putting out that disinfo and misinfo, and absolutely nobody regulating that. So that is a disastrous combination, and that continues. And as you can hear, nobody's really doing anything about that. Nobody's even really talking about it at this point.
But see, here's the thing I think that people really need to grasp. And the bottom line is this here, Greg, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. White nationalists and white supremacists, they are the backbone of the Republican Party. Right. The reason they were afraid to impeach Trump is because they were afraid of his followers, who are their voters. And so they were like, oh, he's going to go away. Remember when Susan Collins said after the first impeachment, I think he's learned his lesson? No. I keep telling people, there is no bottom for this man. It doesn't exist. And so the Republican Party chose to be in bed with him. They had no problem with him being in power. Privately, they trash the man. They think he's an idiot. They think he's dumb. But they love power. And they, like I said on ABC this week, this was, I think it was February 2017. I said, they have allowed evil into their house, and evil has now consumed them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line, Roland. I mean, there are a number of, I guess it's a fundamental conundrum we're faced with here. We keep talking about the rule of law, but the rule of law at critical moments, because, you know, African people have fought for our own liberation in this country, has helped us, but we perhaps need to understand that we're playing by two different sets of rules here. Fani Willis, of course, has used RICO masterfully in this indictment of Trump with the grand jury. But let's not forget that she kind of likes RICO. I was in class last night with my law students, and one of them brought up the fact that, you know, she went after Young Thug down there on a RICO case. And to echo what Lauren said, whether it was Nicole Hannah-Jones or whoever said that they were black, it'd be different. Does anybody doubt that if Young Thug's fans had been threatening grand jurors, that somebody would have been locked up by now? But the whole idea, though, is that we think about the law as an absolute, and it is absolutely not an absolute. The political calculus that Candace is talking about, you know, in terms of what to do or not to do with Trump in a kind of delicate situation, is at play here. You know, there was an article in today's Financial Times that talks about this $400 billion in investments in clean tech because of the legislation that, of course, the Biden administration was able to pass through. 80% of the clean tech and semiconductor investments announced so far this year are in Republican districts. Now, what does that mean? That means that this white nationalist party gets the benefit of a federal government that's working for everybody. So when you say, and when we understand them to be power hungry, it's not just power hungry for benefits. They're getting the benefits. It's power hungry for little niggling reasons. Race is at play here. If the Democrats were in charge of all three branches of government, the Republicans would benefit. But it's not enough to benefit. It's not enough to be a citizen. They are white nationalists. And we have to understand that the rule of law is not going to save us. We keep saying, oh, well, they got to do this by the law. They got to do this by... Set the law aside. I'm very happy, for example, that this guy is talking like this. Matt Maddock, who, by the way, owns 8-1 bail bonds in Michigan, Michigan's largest bail agency. So you know he ain't never going to be against no cash bail. Let them talk. They're using the First Amendment and trying to hide behind the First Amendment. What they're also doing, finally, is this. They are identifying the enemies of our common humanity. And you got to pick a side. It's just as simple as that. They're playing by a set of rules that we don't understand.
Well, the thing here, Ken, is that I think people need to really lock and load on is that these people have supporters who are in positions of power. Mm-hmm. There are sheriffs, there are police departments, there are lawmakers. They are allowing these things to happen. And so this isn't just, something small. No. They have people who are state senators, state representatives, governors who stand with him. These people, look, you have conspirators, co-conspirators of Donald Trump who are in Congress as we speak, who are chairing committees, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, the list goes on and on and on. These people are still there. They have not been held accountable even by Jack Smith.
Not yet, but if you listen to that audio that you just played a little bit earlier, there was a point where that fake elector was given an opportunity to speak, and she said, you know what, as much as I always like to open my mouth, I'm not going to do it right now. Now, that gives me a little bit of hope because of the fact that she knows the harm and knows the trouble that she is in right now. Now, that's not to say that that carries on to everything and is a cure-all, but she got the message that what she was doing and did is wrong, or else she would have been running her mouth just like everybody else on the audio clip. It is coming, and that's one thing about the law. It may not be kind of carried out in a way that we all look at as fair and just, but you do have to be patient to see. For those people who haven't read the indictment, to look at all the people that you're talking about, the 16 people that were the fake electors, and then the 19 people who were part of what Fani indicted, those 19 people. It is very, very clear, and it tells a very, very specific story that involves not just Donald Trump, but this is why she is prosecuting them all at one time under the RICO Act. She wants to make sure that people understand the big picture. It's not about Donald Trump. And in order to see the big picture, you have to look at all of the people involved, and that's why she kind of conjoined everybody together. And one of those electors, like we heard in the audio, she got the message that her time might be up. Otherwise, I think, Roland, she would have been running her mouth just like everybody else on that audio tape. It's coming. Yep. It takes time.